What's up, y'all? I am Marcus, also known as EMB, and this is the finale of From the Dark. All that we have left to do is satiate a Lord vessel and take on the Lord of Cinder himself. Let's offer these souls.
The Lord vessel is satiated, magnificent. You are the righteous successor to Gwyn, the new great Lord, and I am Kingseeker no more. Your acquaintance was an honor. I must admit, I am fond of you humans. May you enjoy serendipity, and may the Age of Fire perpetuate.
We've offered the Lord souls to the Lord vessel, and it has opened up the path to the Kiln of the First Flame. Frampt takes this to mean that we are going to inherit the fire of the world. That's the real meaning of linking the flame, is to actually inherit the flame. May not mean what they're leading us to believe that it means, but we can actually get some interesting dialogue right here from Anastasia.
Frampt has told me of you, that you have agreed to link the fire. I thank you sincerely. Finally, the curse of the undead will be lifted, and I can die human. I am powerless, but I will do all that I can. Please, save us all. Please. Forgive me. I am impure. My tongue never intended for restoration. Please, if you have any heart, leave me be. I wish not to speak.
During Anastasia's dialogue there, you probably heard a kindling sound. That actually is the Firelink Shrine bonfire suddenly kindled all the way to max. That's a result of this event. And it's kind of clear that Anastasia believes, because of what she's been told by Frampt, that you linking the fire, you inheriting the fire of the world, is going to lift the curse of the undead and allow undead to die, quote-unquote, as humans. I wonder if it's true. By the way, you don't need Frampt to get down here.
Huh?
Frampt is also surprised. Yeah, I think that really Dark Souls 3, just from the title, Lords of Cinder, it already like Dark Souls 1, it seems like a perfect continuation from Dark Souls 1. Personally, it almost seems like it skips Dark Souls 2 there entirely. Just because this is really, really gonna set things up. Just the ending of Dark Souls 1 here. And we walked. This is a very fascinating area surrounded in this white light, and we see these ghosts, the spirits of the Black Knights, burned by Gwyn kindling the first flame. The area that we're about to enter, the Kiln, because of this section that connects the Firelink altar to this area, it might even exist in a different time. Like, you don't... What does this actually represent? Kiln of the First Flame. We know where we are, but when are we? It looks like the end of the world. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. This is the part where we get into a bunch of speculation. This is also the part where we get into the stuff that Dark Souls 3 can actually answer for us. Some questions that can be answered. Anastasia believes that us inheriting the fire is going to lift the curse of the undead. Seems kind of unlikely, as Gwen has already linked the flame once. Maybe it's just for a while. First of all, being undead, is it a curse or not? It doesn't seem to be a curse at all. It's just kind of the nature of us being descended and having pieces of the Dark Souls, being descendants of the Pygmy. So from that perspective, there's no way that you can't have that curse lifted. Like, that's who we are, you know? And I say we, I'm talking about humans in the world of Dark Souls. It's not a curse to be lifted, it's our natural state. So it really kind of calls into question what Frampt and Gwendolyn are trying to do. Here we see the remnants of Lord Gwyn's forces. Some of the knights, specifically the Black Knights, came with Lord Gwyn when he came to kindle the first flame. And it's very fascinating that these knights have been burned twice, and we'll read more about that. And fortunately, I got this Black Knight shield drop. This is exactly what I needed. Silver Knight shield. The Silver Knights stayed behind in Anor Londo to defend the illusory goddess, and their shields are blessed with her divine protection. Whereas the Black Knight shield, long ago the Black Knights faced the Chaos Demons and were charred black, but their shields became highly resistant to fire. Very fascinating that the Silver Knights and the Black Knights seem to have split while Gwyn was still around. And I say this, we'll see soon that the Black Knights have been burned twice, once in battle with the Chaos Demons and then again by Gwyn's fire. So that means they had to have been burned by the Chaos Demons first, right? And the thing about the Silver Knight shield is that it specifically says that the knights stayed behind to defend the illusory goddess. Was she already illusory at the time that Gwyn left? That doesn't really seem... That seems unlikely, because a lot of the gods left or fled Anor Londo. She married off to Flame God Flan, and her and a bunch of the other gods left Anor Londo, but it seems like maybe Gwyn left first, because he split his soul amongst the gods. So it's a really fascinating point there. And I don't know the answer. I don't have any answers for you here, guys. I'm sorry. It's one of these things. It was very difficult. It's very difficult, honestly, to make this finale, because there are a lot of things that are just left unanswered. And we see these giant roots. And here's another piece of good information for us on this corpse. The remains, the remnants of a Black Knight. This armor set. First of all, you'll notice that the helmets are actually different. The Silver Knight helmet and the Black Knight helmet. But beyond just looking different, the knights followed Lord Gwyn when he departed to link the fire, but they were burned to ashes in the newly kindled flame, wandering the world as disembodied spirits ever after. So they were burned twice. These knights were already Black Knights that had faced the Chaos Demons, and then they got burned up. Although it is curious that it does not specifically say the Black Knights. Oh, this is the armor of the Black Knights. But it says the knights followed Gwyn. It doesn't say that they were all Black Knights. I've kind of always assumed that they were, and I still kind of feel like that's the case. That the knights who faced the Chaos Demons were the ones who were burned in Gwyn's fire, and the Silver Knights remain in Anor Londo, once again, to defend the illusory goddess. Her being an illusion is such a huge point in the lore, too. That's part of the thing. That's one of the things that can introduce doubt into the player's mind as to what the intentions of Gwendolyn and Frampt are. Like, if this was any other game, you are the chosen undead, you are the chosen one who is going to inherit the title of Great Lord, so you have to defeat all of these bad guys and gather their souls, and then in the end you're gonna become the new, like, king of the gods or what have you. If this was any other game, then I think you could take that at face value and it would be fine. But that's really one of the great things about Dark Souls, is that it kind of plays that straight. It's got this prophecy sort of set up, but they give you lots of reasons to doubt that that's actually what's going on. And Guinevere being an illusion, being kind of a facade, a front, is a really big part of that. Frampt showing up in the Dark Lord ending is another one, and we'll see that in the post-series. Like I said, this is the finale of From the Dark. There will be a short clip series, probably called After Dark or something like that, where I show some alternate scenes and stuff in New Game Plus, and the Japanese playthrough, where I'm showing some stuff off. It'll mostly just be short clips, but and we'll look at that there. But you can't really trust, like, all these NPCs have their own motivations, which is really cool. And this Black Knight was pissing me off, so he got stabbed in the dick. So after all this is what it's come to. Lord Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, the flames were fading. The event in Isleth happened apparently before he left to link the flame, because, I mean, if his knights faced the Chaos Demons and the Chaos Demons didn't come into being until after the Witch of Isleth tried to copy the first flame, right? It could be that they... And that's one of those things. I never know if it's the Witch of Isleth, her attempting to copy the first flame, is what caused things to go bad, or maybe she was attempting to copy the first flame because the first flame was beginning to falter. I don't know, but that happened before Gwyn linked the flame, almost certainly, because his knights accompanied him. We do have one more old friend, thanks to the side quest that we did to rescue Solaire. We actually have an old friend here under this ashen sky. Are we deep below Lordran? Like, or are we in just a completely different dimension? I know that Miyazaki-san said in an interview that he likes to feel like Solaire, if you get this ending to his storyline, he goes on in his own world, in his own dimension, to link the fire in his own world, which kind of brings up a multiverse. It's either a multiverse theory with Dark Souls, or time is cyclical. Like, it's got to be one of the two. If Solaire is going to go and link the fire in his own world, either he has a separate world that needs its fire linked, or it's before us or after us in the timeline, and there's a cycle, which is kind of supported by Dark Souls 2, and the title Lords of Cinder, kind of, maybe that's some more support for that. This is it. This is the Gwyn. that's the end of him. Had to save Solaire. Incidentally, I two-handed my Chaos Rapier there to no effect. It doesn't have any strength scaling that if I recall correctly, so it didn't actually affect damage, it's just force of habit. We've got the Soul of Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. Knight Solaire returns to his own world where he will link the flame. Whether it's before or after us in the timeline, or it's a completely separate world, I don't know, but we can wish him farewell. And all that's left for us to do now is to either walk out the door, become the new Dark Lord, usher in an Age of Dark, or kindle the first flame ourselves, link the fire. There's no other option. You can homeward if you want, but it's not going to get you anywhere, as you can see right here. Just pop you right back in place. What a bittersweet playthrough. It's really got me pumped for Dark Souls 3 though. There's so many answers that we need, and I have a really good feeling about this. I think we're gonna get them. We also have the Soul of Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, contains an incredible power. Soul of the Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight and Cinder, who linked the first flame. Lord Gwyn bequeathed most of his power to the gods and burned his cinder for the first flame, but even so, Lord Gwyn's soul is a most powerful thing indeed. He bequeathed most of his power to the gods, and then left to link the flame. Let's inherit the will of Lord Gwyn and become a Lord of Cinder ourselves.
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world.